thank all the wonderful volunteers and city staff who have selflessly donated additional time, sometimes without payment, to making our city the very flower of Ontario. Yes, indeed. Even my wife Linda here and I tried to do our best this year, except Linda is a water sign in the zodiac, and I am an earth sign, and all we made was mud. However, the mud was great because our 3-year-old grandson just loved it. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our dignitaries, who are our judges, Berta and Tina. I read up on them, and they have 2 things in common. They are both very passionate. Sorry, I lost my place there. Very passionate about everything floral. And they each enjoy gardening and cooking. Now, I tried to do that once. I grew my own rhubarb, but I left the leaves on when I cooked it for my wife, and she accused me of trying to poison her. Look, all I was doing was following the same recipe that Hillary Clinton did when she offered Trump dinner one evening. Just long may our beautiful city of Barrie be a community in bloom and continue to blossom in both floral and cultural attributes. And God bless our great, free and green country of Canada!
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody here on behalf of the City of Barrie and the City Councillors. It is my pleasure to welcome our judges, Tina, Lou, and Britta Briggs. As you know, we are our 19th year competing in the Communities in Bloom, and the program grows every year. And we maintain our 5-star rating for this past several years. We are passionate about our gardens, and we take this program seriously. Our incredible staff and dedicated volunteers pour a ton of hard work into making the city beautiful, and these efforts do not go unnoticed. So I'd like to recognize a few people right now. The citizens of Barrie, of course, with your gardens, it's amazing, and thank you for your participants. Our sponsors, there are several sponsors that I would love to mention. The Barrie Examiner, of course, Tim Hortons, Home Hardware, Hampton Inn Suites. Chances are us, our judges went on a beautiful cruise this morning. Fox's Bakery and Deli, Barrie Country Club, Battlefield Rental, Scott's, Glen Martin, and Barrie's Garden Center. And I'd also like to mention the Little Bloomers Containers Garden Contest. It is great that we offer the little ones a chance to compete and learn about gardening as well. And of course, this can't be possible without the Communities in Bloom Committee, which puts several hours, and we start right after this one, we start for next year, so we put a lot of hours in. Darcy and Carl Bagnell, Caitlin Colley, Adriana Vanderwolf, Jim Hosick, and of course, Mona Boyd. And of course, our municipal staff. Nothing is done without the staff out there and all their hard work, and in this heat. I don't know how you guys do it. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for keeping our city beautiful. I'd like to invite Kevin Bradley right now, from Manager of the Parks and Forestry, to come forward and to extend their welcome and say a few words.
Thank you, Councillor Mita. Good afternoon and welcome again on behalf of the City of Barrie. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate our participation in Communities in Bloom and to acknowledge a number of groups and individuals who have contributed to the success of the program again this year. This is sort of a homecoming for me. I recently returned to the parks section after about 14 years in facilities and saw my facility skills with the blinds a minute ago. And it's a real privilege to be back here. I started actually as a landscape architect about 15 years ago, and during the first 5 years of my career at the city, I actually had the privilege of assisting Monex and some others host and tour of Communities and Bloom judges at that time. And being here with you today really is a reminder for me about how great this program truly is, how it really is a community-wide program, and truly a community success story, in my opinion. For me, it's also really amazing to see not only has the program been sustained and carried on over those 15 years that I've been away from it, but I would say it's definitely growing, and that's incredible to see as well. So, as the name Communities in Bloom suggests, it really takes the commitment, energy, and effort of an entire community to make it a success, whether it's our community partners, some of which Councillor Mead has mentioned, such as our local service clubs with their environmental and planting programs, our Little Bloomers, Tim Hortons, who was mentioned earlier, who's a major supporter of just not this event, but also our annual Spring into Clean program. And of course, the residents who participate in our garden, our Adopt a Trail, or Adopt a Park programs, and Downtown BIA supports all of our downtown urban beautification programs. So it's certainly a citywide community team effort. I also, too, would like to extend my personal thanks, special thanks to the Parks and Forestry staff, the full-time and the seasonal staff for their fantastic and hard work. It's just not a mad rush leading up to the Communities in Bloom judging and an event. These individuals perform amazing work year-round, and especially in the high season, the growing season. I'd also like to thank staff in Access Berry for their communications assistance with the program and this amazing booklet. I don't know if there's copies here for people to see, but if there is, please have a look at it. It's a great document. Roads and Traffic Operations, who's our partners in our home department, Roads, Parks and Fleet. Parks Planning, who does a lot of the design work and consulting work with us to create many amazing park spaces and waterfront spaces that you see across the city, and many others for their contributions that keep this an ongoing success in our community. I'd also like to take the opportunity, if I could, to thank a number of other city departments, facilities, which was my old department, engineering and environmental services, who are all committed to and remain at the forefront of protecting and improving our environment across the city through a number of different projects, such as the Blue Flag program, which is an international certification of water quality at our beaches and at our City of Barrie Marina, the renaturalization and daylighting of our water courses, which you start to see on the waterfront. I won't hazard a guess the names of the creeks, but award-winning waste management strategy, and one that's near and dear to my heart, which is citywide energy management and water conservation initiatives, and lake simcoe protection measures. And again, far too many others to mention at this time. As usual, I'm sure I've missed somebody or some group, and I'll ask for forgiveness now, because I've said this really is a community-wide program, and for these 1.5 or 2 days that we have the judges with us, it's really just a snapshot of this community's, our community's commitment to civic pride, the environmental responsibility, and urban beautification. So thank you. That's it for me. And at this time, I'd like to invite our Communities in Bloom Volunteer Committee Co-Chair, Mr. Carl Bagnell, to introduce this year's judges team. Thank you.
I kind of forgot that I was actually the co-chair. We had a meeting and they said who wanted to be a co-chair, and everybody else just kind of backed away from the table, and I kind of forgot that. I was chosen. So I'm a little more distinguished than I thought I was. Anyways, Kevin, that was a great job on the lines. I can see why you moved up in upper management. My tax dollars at work. Anyways, I would like to have the honor here to present the judges who are attending and viewing our city. I will start off with Berta Briggs. Berta is a greenhouse owner and manager in Wetaskiwin, Alberta. And Wetaskiwin, Alberta is about a half an hour south of Edmonton. In 1981, she started a greenhouse and garden center on a 100-acre site, and it's called Arbor Greenhouses Limited. And you can go on the website, and I was on there yesterday, and it's quite an interesting site, and they do a lot of charity work and fundraising as well as being obviously a greenhouse and garden center. Berta has had the privilege of judging with the Communities in Bloom since 2000. She has been judging at the provincial, national, and international levels, so she has visited and learned about communities of all sizes and circumstances in every province and several countries. Communities in Bloom encompasses so many features that Berta values. She mentioned this morning too that this is the smallest, I believe the smallest number of towns she's going to get to visit, so she's excited to be in Barrie. It's one of only 4 towns being judged in this particular competition. Berta's passion for gardening and business, I've already got this part done, was realized by founding a greenhouse and a large garden center on a 100-acre site. She now considers herself semi-retired, as her daughter and her husband have taken over the business. She was mentioning this morning she still loves to get down in the dirt, but she did not like the paperwork involved in running a business, so this has been a nice change for her. She was honored to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Alberta Greenhouse Growers Association, and in 1999 was named an Alberta finalist in the Canadian Woman Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Berta believes that community involvement is both a responsibility and a privilege. All her life, Berta has been active in community organizations. Currently, most of her community volunteer time is with the Rotary, and last fall she did attend an exchange with the Rotary in Australia. And I'm just trying to remember now where you said you just got back from East Africa. She just got back from East Africa. So you're quite familiar with dry conditions then, maybe. Travel is a passion for Berta. Spare time activities include curling, cooking, and gardening. 3 wonderful daughters are Berta's greatest achievement. Following graduation from the University of Alberta, Berta lived and worked outside Canada for over 5 years and became involved in international development before starting her family. Berta believes that Communities in Bloom is an extraordinary program that allows communities to showcase their achievements and to serve as an effective tool to build quality of life for all residents. She is very proud of all the villages, towns, and cities that have achieved so much through Communities in Bloom. And in talking to her, you can certainly get that feeling that she truly believes that. The other judge we have with us is Tina Liu. Tina is a landscape architect with the National Capital Commission in Ottawa. Tina got her landscape architect's degree in Taiwan and then obtained her master's in environmental studies from York University. Since 2010, she has been the design manager of the Capital Floral Program. She is responsible for the design of the Tulip Festival in spring, annual and perennial floral display in summer, autumn of the 440,000 square meters of planting beds in the capital region. This is a wonderful platform for Tina to contribute her creativity and expertise in planting design. She has been exploring different design approaches throughout the years, such as developing companion mixes, bulbs, naturalization, incorporating tropical plants, vegetables, herbs, and staple crops to create innovative designs in the numerous parks. And I don't know if anybody has ever been to Ottawa for the Tulip Festival, but it's fantastic. And this lady here is the one responsible for doing primarily all of the designs that are involved in that. And it involves over 300,000. One of the figures I came off the internet was over 300,000 tulips are planted. One thing that did indicate too that was kind of interesting, we were talking to her this morning about, was that in 2014 she tried a little pilot project that still has to get kicked off the ground on a permanent basis if she can manage to get it done. But once the tulips were finished in 2014, she then started to plant kale, Brussels sprouts, Swiss chard, cauliflower. Yeah. And they were so successful in growing them that they donated all of of these plants at the end of the season to the food bank in Ottawa. So that was quite an accomplishment. She's had a few problems now with the legal departments, of course, with all the liabilities and all these kind of things that they always get into. So the program is still being worked on. Before joining the National Capital Commission, Tina worked on multidisciplinary projects internationally and domestically in the private sector for over 15 years. Her experience of design ranged from residential gardens to national park master planning. She believes that to attain a sustainable design, one should always associate the environmental and ecological aspects in the early stages of planning. In her leisure time, Tina loves to work in her garden at home. Her gardening motto is natural but manicured, dramatic as necessary. Some areas deserve special attention for some of the out-of-ordinary accent plants, while others should remain consistent to integrate a holistic design with the surrounding. She appreciates plants for their natural shapes and texture, not just for the colors of their bloom. She often experiments with new cultivars and hybrids in her own garden before introducing them to the public parklands. And I know if you've ever been to Ottawa, not just for the Tulip Festival, but in general, it's just a beautiful, beautiful city with tons and tons of beautiful flowers and parks, and it's all basically part of the National Capital Commission. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming, and would you like to say a couple words? Berta or Tina, or both? Both? Okay.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be here again. This is my third time judging Barrie, so I feel very privileged to have been here 8 years ago, 4 years ago, and now this year. From that, the greatest pleasure is reflecting back on how it was in the past and how much you have progressed. And I invite you all to take time. We often forget to take time to look back and see how things have changed and grown and progressed. And I think the volunteers, I think you can't help but be inspired by the work that not only what the city does, but what your neighbors are doing and all the volunteer groups and so on are doing here in this city. Because as we've driven around some of the residential areas, there is pride here. I'll go so far as say unabashed pride, because all the streets and everything, curb appeal is very important, and so there's this collective sense of what you want Barrie to be, and it seems to me you're all working toward creating that beautiful, sustainable quality of life here in Barrie. I'd also like to just speak out to the town staff here, and I don't think that very often when you're out there mowing the lawns or weeding or planting, you really think about the effect you're having on people. So you just see it right here, but I would like you to think carefully about why people use parks and public areas. You obviously come here for festivals and celebrations like that, but all parts of people's lives are always drawn to the green spaces, and it's how well you keep them looking. It reflects on the quality of that experience. So where do people go for their wedding pictures and so on? They go to parks. Where do they go when they're very happy? You go out into parks. But where do you go when you're very depressed? You get out into green spaces. And often that is a prescription from mental health specialists and so on, is the green spaces. Where do people go when they're grieving? They go to a park, because that just sort of brings everything together, makes things calm, and you go to a park or a public green space and you know everything's going to be okay. So I would like to have the park staff think about that a little bit. They're not just mowing grass or pulling weeds or planting flowers. They are creating something very special for every individual that goes to the parks. So thank you to all the great residents of Barrie and the wonderful volunteers for all the work you're doing to create such a wonderful quality of life here in Barrie. And thank you for your great hospitality.
Hey everyone, this is my first year judging, so don't mind me if I sound a little green. I've been a landscape architect for a little over 20 years, and to me it's not just the design process is fun, but I think it's to be able to create for people to enjoy, for people to, from day-to-day life. And you see it, when even just in community playground that you drive by, you see all these kids who are enjoying all this space. This is very rewarding for the work that, what I do. When I joined the commissions, for about a little over 6 years now, and to be able to help to make the difference, to beautify the city, it's very rewarding to me, and also bring out the community involvement, the participation of the community, they make themselves really proud of the city. It's very amazing for me. The first time judging a community is in Bloom, and to learn about it, it's not just about the Bloom, it's about the community spirit. And I definitely see this in Barrie. And I am very glad that this is my first time judging tour, and this is one of the cities that I get to visit. Thank you. And you should be very proud.
Those words. I think Brittles is going to be next. She's back. Watch out.
Don't get rid of me that easy. Thank you very much. Thanks for those kind words. Much appreciated. Tina and Berta will be available for mingling later on after they judge our Little Bloomers. They will also be judging our Little Bloomers gardens there. But first we have to feed them, because they're not going to do much on the empty stuff. So I'm gonna ask that Berta and Tina, you go up first, so that way you can get fed, and everybody else will follow, and then they'll be available for any questions or any concerns or anything that you have. So I invite you to go up first, please, and then everybody else can follow. Enjoy.
So we have two groups. We did separate them based on their age, but 2 to 5 is 16. Like fan them kind of thing. Do you want the name on it? Here, you can do whatever you want. Oh, you want me to hold it?
Yeah.
So I'll let one of you give them the certificate and one of you can give the gift card, if that sounds good. Just the gift cards for the girls, we'll give them the pink envelope because the design on it is more like girly, and the boys can get the green. Okay? So I don't know who wants to do what. Doesn't really matter. Just a couple of the kids aren't actually here. They're like grandparents. So if we call the kids up, we'll just be a couple.
How was lunch? So we're in Plaza, city staff, I believe, but Little Bloomers, and we have a chance to go over and see them. They're just gorgeous. I know I could take a bed, but I don't think I can do that. But they need. So I've got some certificates and little gift cards for some of the Bloomers that are here. If I call your name, please come up and give your certificate, and the judges will name you the gift. So first of all, in no particular order, Jordan Ray, here, come on up, Jordan. And Paige Trucks. Hope I'm saying that right. Paige. Congratulations to all the little bloomers. I hope to see you back again next year for some different. Nice, yes. So I believe that concludes our afternoon. I believe. There are some absentees that are getting some certificates as well. So I believe that's it for the afternoon. I'm glad that you everybody come out and hope you had a good time and enjoy the rest of this beautiful afternoon.
So, hasn't this Communities in Bloom event been such a great event? It's been wonderful, hasn't it? Look at the crowd of people. It's absolutely marvellous. We've got all these young people who are the staff, and they're enjoying just an hour of coolness here as well from being outside. You know, I was joking with them earlier, and I said in a couple of years' time you'll have these little robot guys that you control from a cell phone or something, and you'll be able to sit in the cool and you'll just be controlling these little robot guys who are pulling the weeds and digging up the garden. They said, yeah! Anyway, this has been absolutely wonderful. All the volunteers were here, and all the wonderful people who had contributed to Communities in Bloom, and the judges, our judges, who were absolutely marvellous. Great food, wonderful people, wonderful event. Thank you very much for inviting me.